And this one from Bryson is really good. So the basic question is, what is the correlation between the two, ad campaign quality versus landing page? So it's not a quality versus landing page issue. It's how do, and this one from Bryson is really good. So the basic question is, and this one from Bryson is really good. So the basic question is, what is the correlation between the two? And this one from Bryson is really good. So the basic question is, what is the correlation between the two, ad campaign quality versus landing page? So it's not a quality versus landing page issue. It's how do the ads and landing page play together is really the question that you're getting at. And so, when I'm talking to a client, the way that I explain this is you have to think of your entire marketing online as a symphony, okay? And your ad campaign would be like the woodwinds, and your marketing funnel would be the strings, for example. So you've got two different sections that are all part of one thing, and if they're not playing in tune, then the whole thing is fucked up and it doesn't work. The strings could be playing just fine, but this one from Bryson is really good. So this one from Bryson is going to always lose. A great ad into a poor conversion process can be mediocre, right? So you see, like, all of these things play together. And what you have to do is, this is why we have the guaranteed profitability formula, is because we're running benchmarks on what the conversion rate needs to be in each part of the funnel. And so if you're sharing these metrics with your clients, then you need to get them bought into the idea that they have to deliver that conversion rate. And if you're running traffic into the funnel and the traffic is meeting the objectives that you guys have, meaning it's hitting the numbers and it's using language that the client has given you as what works for them, and it's leading properly to the landing page, and the landing page isn't converting it properly, then it's always a landing page issue, right? And you want to always get people to agree to these metrics. And this one from Bryson is really good. So the basic question is, what is the correlation between the two, ad campaign quality versus landing page? So it's not a quality versus landing page issue. And you can have very little impact, because, in one case, it could literally be an issue with their tech. Maybe their page load's too slow. It could simply just be that. Page speed, and I've been writing about this a lot, has a massive, massive, massive impact on conversion rates. So on top of that, the design elements, the trust elements, all that stuff is going to have a huge role. So you got to decide, though, like, do you want to keep the client? Because, like, a lot of times you got to go above and beyond, do these things. And then this is where it comes into play, where you've got to, price things properly. So, you may want to go to the client. In this case, you may want to go to them and say, hey, this is a conversion rate optimization issue, and we can help you with that. It's going to cost more. Okay. But both of those things are of equal importance, and ideally, and this is why I train on this, you want to have congruence between the ad and the landing page. And all of that language, like the headline I teach, it should be the same between the ad and the landing page, especially when you're testing messaging, because you cannot determine if the messaging is working right if you've got different headlines in each area. So like, that's really the ultimate way to have that. But they both play a huge role. And they cover half of the battle each, right? So that's what you got to do there. Hopefully that helps your question. Okay, so Steven's got this question here where he turned on an ad with a very low budget. Overnight, it spent $1.36 to reach 15 people. Is this a product of an ad account that hasn't been used in a while? Something haven't you seen? This is just a matter of don't have full information here, like what time of the day you set it up at, if it was in the morning or later in the evening. But admittedly, it's a low budget, so it's just like, way too early to make any determination about anything. I mean, what I'm seeing here is you're getting a 6.67% CTR, and you're getting $1.36 a click out of those impressions. So, I mean, those are the metrics that matter, and those numbers look pretty good. So I don't really care about impressions. It's all about getting the right impressions. So, I don't see any issue with this either. And, it's still only $1.36 in spend. It's way too early. Okay, so I see where your problem is in your thinking here. So because you've calculated that your CPA is $5, you're assuming that you can't increase the budget for testing. That's not what we're saying here. You can spend whatever you want in testing, but what I recommend is that you only spend minimally 2 times on any ad or ad set that you're testing, 2 times your CPA if it's not working, right? So in this case, you don't really want to spend more than $10 to maybe $20 on any ad set to see if it's going to work. That's not a scaling issue, right? And you don't need to spend more on testing something that's not working. I don't know why that seems to be a problem. You'd only want to increase the budget on ones that are working. And it sounds like you've got ads that are working because you're making sales. So you should just be scaling the budgets of the ones that are working, and you turn off the ads that don't, or ad sets that don't work. That's it. So, I would recommend that you go through the Bootcamp 2.0 course, because, that's really basic stuff. So, you're with your, that you don't need to increase the budget for testing. I don't understand why you're asking that question, because you don't need to. You'd only have to spend this on each ad set or ad that you're testing. And then if it doesn't sell, then you shut it off. And if it does, then you increase the budgets, and you use our scaling strategies to do that. So hopefully that resolves that question for you. So Daniel, what I don't understand is why you think you need a landing page service for that. Usually that's just generated in the shopping cart, and you can, have a shopping cart system create a discount code, and then you would just drive the traffic to an order form or an order page where, it's got the form on it, and that form would have the ability for them to enter in a discount code, and then you can just give them the discount code on the ad. You don't need to necessarily have it. I don't understand what the purpose of the landing page is there, especially since it's only it's $100 sale. You can do all the selling in the ad and then drive people to an order form where they can enter in the discount code, and you don't need a landing page service for that. Most shopping carts, most CRMs have the ability to create discount codes right in them. All right, so Matthew's got this question here about his launch funnel. So, I've done these launch funnels before, and, I haven't spent a whole lot of money on the ads to try to get people to consume other videos. The way that you have to set those up is you create an audience that is, where you've got to exclude certain people so that you're only getting the people that have viewed page video 2, for example, and then you want to send them to the video 3, and you want to exclude everyone that's already viewed video 3. Now, unless you're dealing with large volumes of traffic, the audiences end up being so small that the ads don't really show. So what ends up happening is you put up a whole bunch of campaigns thinking, oh yeah, they're going to move this person around and they're going to see the ads, but the ads don't show because the audiences are too small for Facebook's algorithm to really make them work. So, I wouldn't recommend, trying to create separate ads to push people to, each of the pieces of content, because you're going to be running that traffic through your email anyways. And that's what pushes most of the people there is the emails. The audiences, like I said, are going to be really, really, really small that you're dealing with. So you can put it all together. But what I've seen in the past when we've done that is they don't usually show, or they don't really, do much. You might get a handful of clicks out of it, and it's not a lot. It's a lot of work for not a lot of impact. So I generally recommend just retargeting people to attend the webinar, so that you can just get anybody that's opted in and to the funnel period for this content, and then just retarget all that whole audience to the webinar. Then you get as many people as possible. And that way, I mean, some people aren't going to, I know you probably want them to consume all of the content, but some of your best buyers, they don't need to go through all the content actually. So, we want to try to get them in front of the sales message as quick as possible in some cases. So we're just trying to cover all of our bases, work with the algorithm, and give yourself the most opportunity to sell at the same time. Okay, it looks like that's it for the day. To the victor belong the spoils. This is Jason.